was not able to really turn on the stream and stuff, but I wanted to do a little quick port review and mechanics overview for this. Now the port, and the reason I'm doing both of these in one video is not because I have to leave in an hour. It's more that this is not really a high-profile game, and there's really nothing to talk about with the port. It does go above. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's capped at 1080p. There aren't really a whole lot of options. Obviously, this is a 2D, you know, last-gen action game, so it doesn't really need a whole lot of features. If you are playing on a 4K monitor, you'll probably have to work things out some other way. You have VSync, and you can change the controls. That's pretty much it. I've played the game for about half an hour. There haven't been any issues at all. The game turned on and worked. It is supposed to have PS4 button prompts. It does have native PS4 controller support, but for whatever reason the prompts are not there. But I mean, if you're using a PS4 controller, you're pretty used to these games not having PS4 prompts. I did make a thread on the Steam forum and the developers talking to me about it, so maybe it's just something that needs to be fixed, but you will not have to use DS4 Windows or the big picture mode controller support to get this working. It should work with pretty much every controller, which is nice. Sometimes those programs can cause problems with certain games and stuff like that. So I'm going to go into the training mode here. So once you finish the first level, you will get Blood Warp, which is pretty much a teleport. It's very similar to the Shift Blade Warp that was in the first game. So you can use this for pretty much anything. The training mode in this is not the best. The enemies block really often, and they don't really have that much health, but you can still get a hang of the game. So the moveset is pretty simple at the start. You can see once you level it up to level 3, you get more of a, you know, more of a array of options to use. Like for example, that's square, 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 triangle. There are context-sensitive grabs in the game that will give you health and also give you a bit of invincibility, which in this game is a blessing because of how fast-paced it is. You'll definitely want to use the context-sensitive finishers as much as possible, because I believe it's been like 6 years since I played this extensively, but I believe that they actually give you more health as well. Now in terms of switching, weapon switching in this is not instant. It is not like Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry, there is no animation for switching. You just push the button and your character instantly switches to the next weapon. It does not work like that. There actually is an animation. Now, I haven't gotten far enough in the game. The game just came out like an hour ago, so obviously I have not finished it. But there are beads in the game that actually give you unique abilities and stuff like that. One of them is the ability to switch weapons faster. Once you have that, the combat is pretty much as fast as you want to make it. You can switch out from pretty much anything. Like say I do this, like that. So you can use this to both cancel the animations of attacks and to extend your combos. Once you have the bead that allows you to switch out faster, you can use it to cancel animations way faster than you're intended to. It really speeds up the game, especially since you can switch and then Blood Warp or Shift Blade Warp if you're playing the Dishwasher. So you have a lot of flexibility in this game. It's just you have to kind of work for it. You have to remember to switch as much as possible, use your context-sensitive finishers and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and, I don't know if it'll live long enough, but I'll try to do a combo. There you go. So that's a basic combo with a launcher extension, you know, shift warp cancels, and then a weapon switch. So if you finish with that, that obviously gives you like 2 or 3 seconds of invincibility. Sometimes it's nice to have that just to kind of get your bearings on the screen and figure out what your next, you know, course of action is going to be. See, like with this weapon, you have a helm breaker, and it's got a pretty significant amount of lag. But if you weapon switch, then it will pretty much have no lag at all. Only have like maybe a couple frames or so. So this game is it's really about cancels. It's about canceling your actions as much as possible, making sure that you're always aware of what's happening, using your context-sensitive finishers to get health back and kind of give yourself a breather. If you use all of those, then you will pretty much not take that much damage. The game is really it's fast-paced. It's designed to be played as fast as possible, and it can take definitely take some time to get used to because of how fast-paced it is. One of the problems I always had with this game is how dark it is. I hope that maybe someone will make a mod to kind of increase the lighting a little bit. I understand that it's, you know, part of the theme and the aesthetic of the game, but it can kind of be a little difficult to tell what's going on with all the effects and stuff like that. Apparently the game is supposed to be moddable. This PC port is supposed to be moddable, so maybe people will do pretty cool stuff, but I don't think this game will really need too many mods. I probably will speedrun this once I get a file ready for it. I kind of wanted to do that on my original console, but I had all those computer and capture card problems that just made it not really feasible to do that. But now that there's no issues with that, it runs fine on my PC. That's probably something I'll pursue in the future. So if you do want to speedrun this game and you want to train and stuff like that, I recommend getting all the weapons, definitely getting all the beads. There isn't a whole lot of documentation for this game. I don't know how well this game did compared to the first one. It's definitely a much better game than the first one, but I don't really think too many people make guides. There is a really ancient GameFAQs post that lists all the beads and what they do and their locations and stuff like that. I don't know if anyone actually did a YouTube video for it. I'm going to go ahead and try to unearth that post and give it out to people so that you can use that, because the beads definitely do change the game. I remember before my Xbox Red ringed, back when this came out, I remember I got most of the beads and stuff like that, most of the achievements, and then I just kind of was not able to play for a long time. But they do change the game drastically. I believe you're able to equip 2, if I remember correctly, so you can use those to kind of make your own build. But one of the best ones to have is to make this fast. You can see how fast it is right now. I don't know how much it increases it by, but it is a pretty significant change. Like that was triangle switch Y cancel. Anyway, that's pretty much the basics of the game. There's not really a whole lot to say about the port. It turns on and works. It is not a it's not a AAA blockbuster which is gonna overheat your PC or run at 20 FPS even though you have a $5,000 rig. For $10, you get a pretty good game. You know, it's not gonna last you dozens of hours unless you're into speedrunning or you just want to do the challenge modes and stuff like that. There is a Bloody Palace, which if you've been subscribed to me for at least the past 3 years, you've probably seen me play this before. There's an arcade mode too, so you have two kind of Bloody Palace modes. The arcade mode is more of a segmented, you know, Bloody Palace, segmented challenges and stuff like that. And then you have the Dish Challenge, which is just a single room, which is pretty much the Bloody Palace. You just go through it and you just fight stuff until you die or you lose your run. So there is replay value, but it's not going to be the material kind where you have tons of different modes and stuff. You do have separate modes. I don't remember exactly what changes in the speedrun mode. I will have to look that up or just find out myself when I get to that point again. But you do have a bunch of modes, just like most other character action games. Everything does carry over, so I recommend playing on normal because the game is honestly kind of boring without all the options. Just like any other character action game, there's no real reason to play on Ninja Mode. It is not significantly more difficult. I did finish Ninja Mode on my my Xbox 360 save, but it is not significantly more difficult. It's just it's not really too fun to go through without your moves and stuff like that. So I recommend just playing on normal. The game's short enough that you can play through it all 4 times if you just start from normal and probably not get too tired of it. Anyway, that's your short little port review and mechanics overview. I'll probably put up some more footage of this when I finish the first playthrough. I do have some stuff to do today when I get back. I'll probably turn the stream on and try to finish at least the first run. Anyway, catch you guys later. Peace.